जगदुदयस्थितिलयादीनि विश्वसृजस्ते अंशांशा तत्र मृषा स्वर्धन्ति पृथक् अभिमत्या. Thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Krishna. Pranandi Madhvi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
प्रणाम माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. तव विभवः खलु भगवान् जगत् उदय स्थिति लय आदिनिः विश्वसृजस्ते अंशंस तत्र मृषा स्पर्धन्ति पृथक् अभिमत्याः. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. थैंक यू माताजी.
Thank you. Madhumati Vilasni Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी।
Hare
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तव विभवः खलु भगवन् जगदुदय स्थितिलयादिनि विश्वसृजस्ते अंशांशः तत्र मृषा स्पर्धन्ति पृथगभिमत्या. थैंक यू माताजी. हरे कृष्ण.
Krishna. Usha Devati Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. प्रणाम माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तव विभाव कलौ भगवान् जगत् उदय स्थिति लयादिनी विश्वसृजस्ते अंसः तत्र मृषः स्पर्धन्ति पृथक् अभिमत्यः. थैंक यू माताजी. हरे कृष्ण.
Krishna. Repti Ratnangi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
श्री कृष्ण माताजी. प्रणाम माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तव विभः खलु भगवन् जगत् उदयन् स्थिति लयादिनि विश्वसृजोते अमशंसां तत्र वृक्षा स्वरतन्ति पृथक् अभिमद्य. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you. Shubha Rao Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Shubha Rao Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा माताजी. दंडवत प्रणाम.
Pranam.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तव विभव खलु भगवन् जगदुदय स्थितिलयादीनि विश्वसृजस्ते शांसास्तेत्र मृषा स्पर्धन्ति पृथगभिमत्या. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you. Krishna. Chitra Mohini Mataji, Hare Krishna.
कृष्ण माताजी. प्रणाम माताजी. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय तव विभव खलु भगवान् जगदुदय स्थिति लयाधिनी विश्वसृजेस्तां शंशाः तत्र मृषा स्पर्धन्ति पृथग् अभिमत्या. हरे कृष्ण माताजी. थैंक यू माताजी.
Thank you. Prem Prakash Hardas Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी.
Pranam.
तव विभवः खलु भगवन् जगदुदय स्थितिलयादिनि विश्वसृजस्ते अंशांशा तत्र मृषा स्पर्धति भूगयमित्या. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Thank you. Suramya Madhvi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी. दंडवत प्रणाम.
Pranam.
तव विभव खलु भगवन् जगद उदय स्थिति लयादिनी विश्वसृजस्ते अशांशा तत्र मृषा स्पर्धन्ति पृथगभिमत्या. हरे कृष्ण.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Tava, your Vibhavaha, opulences. Khalo, indeed. Bhagavan, or Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jagat, of the cosmic manifestation. Uday, the creation. Sthiti, maintenance. Laya, Adini, dissolution, and so on. Vishwasrajaha, the creators of the manifested world. Te, they. Anshaha, parts of your plenary portion. Tatra, in that. Mrisha, in vain. Svardhanti, rival one another. Prithak, of separateness. Abhimatya, by a false conception. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Shabad ki jai. My dear Lord, this cosmic manifestation and its creation, maintenance, and annihilation are all but your opulences. Since Lord Brahma and the other creators are nothing but small portions of a portion of you, their partial power to create does not make them God, Ishwar. Their consciousness of themselves as separate lords is therefore merely false prestige. It is not valid. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Shabad ki jai. A devotee who has fully surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord knows very well that The creative energy of the living entities from Lord Brahma down to a small ant exists because the living entities are part and parcel of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 15 chapter verse 7, the Lord says, Mam evansha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. The living entities are nothing but very small portions of the Supreme Spirit, like sparks of a fire. But they are part of the Supreme. They have a creative quality in a very minute quantity. The so-called scientists of the modern materialistic world are proud because they have created modern facilities like great airplanes. But the credit for creating the airplanes should go to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not to the scientists who have invented or created the so-called wonderful products. The first consideration is the intelligence of the scientist. One must be elevated by the dictation of the Supreme Lord, who says in Bhagavad Gita 15 chapter verse 15, Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. Because the Supreme Lord as Super Soul sits within the core of every living entity's heart, the dictation by which one advances in scientific knowledge or creative faculties come from him. Furthermore, the ingredients to manufacture wonderful machines like airplanes are also supplied by the Lord, not by the scientists. Before the airplane was created, its ingredients already existed, having been caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But when the manifested creation of the airplane is ruined, the remaining debris is a problem for the so-called creator. Another example is that the West is creating many automobiles. The ingredients for these cars are supplied, of course, by the Supreme Lord. And the intelligence for the so-called creation is also supplied by the Lord. Ultimately, when the cars are demolished, the so-called creators are faced with the problem of what to do with their ingredients. The actual creator, the original creator, is the personality of Godhead. Only in the interim does someone create something with intelligence supplied by the Lord. And later the creation again becomes a problem. Therefore, the so-called creator is not to be credited with the act of creation. The only credit goes to the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead. It is rightly stated herein that the credit for all the opulences of creation, maintenance, and annihilation belongs to the Supreme Lord, not to the living entities. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyan Anjan Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Sapadantikam He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinbandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastate Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishvanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Pre Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pachayane Nirvishesha Shnevadi Paschatya Deshatayane. My dear Lord, this cosmic manifestation and its creation, maintenance, and annihilation are all but your opulences. Since Lord Brahma and the other creators are nothing but small portions of a portion of you, their partial power to create does not make them God, Ishwar. Their consciousness of themselves as separate lords is therefore merely false prestige. It is not valid. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, called as the prescribed duties of the mankind, chapter 16, which is called as the King Chitraketu
Chitraketu meets the Supreme Lord.
Means the Supreme Lord. And what is happening in these verses? What has been said? Who's saying to who?
These are the prayers of Chitraketu
To
the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, so there's the prayers of Chitraketu to Ananta Shesha after he gets darshan of the Lord because of the mercy of his spiritual master Narad Muni. And why Narad Muni bestowed his mercy on Chitraketu? Because he was very sincere and dedicated. He was surrendered. He had given up his hopes to be happy in this material world. And mind you, he was the king. Okay, so his opulence knew no boundary. He was the king. Prabhupada was listening to Prabhupada class few days ago, and Prabhupada was saying it doesn't take a lot to meet the needs of the body. I was thinking about it the whole day. He said it doesn't take a lot to meet the needs of the body. We are trying to, create so much to meet the needs of the body, but the Acharya's vision is it doesn't take a lot to meet the needs of the body. And of course, then he goes that how the six Goswamis were using, the earth as a bed, the water of the river as the water, the fruits from the plants as the meal, the hand as the pillow. He was explaining all that, and the shadow of the tree as the house for the night to rest. So that is like really, really, really brought down to the crumbs. But he said it's possible. And then he went to explain Raghunath Das Goswami, that how in modern science we think that exploring different cuisines, different places is advancement of civilization. Yeah, different. Yes, if the two people who are not in Krishna consciousness they meet, do you think they'll talk about like what all what did you eat in this country? What kind of cuisines have you tasted? Yeah, it's like it's very common. There's so many food channels, so many restaurants, and it's multiplying like anything day by day. So Prabhupada was saying that is not advancement of civilization. Advancement of civilization is to give up eating, to give up sleeping. And he was explaining Raghunath Das Goswami's pastime, that how he was slowly decreasing from him being served by the servants that his father sent along, and then him begging at the door of Jagannath temple, and then him eating the washed out rice from the kitchen of Jagannath temple, then him eating every other day a little bit of yogurt, and then I'm eating or surviving only on air. You see, though, so he says this is perfection of civilization that we are minimizing. So here, Prabhupada is bringing up a very important thing in the purport, that who is to be credited. Because if we keep our vision, it's not that we are not going to give due respect to the person who has come in the interim to combine all these things for making some object of utility. No, it's not that we are not trying to become hard-hearted. It's not that. You see, spirituality, if it is not taken properly, can make one very hard-hearted. We are not going to be hard-hearted people, but understand that the real credit goes to Krishna. Why understand that? Why? So that we don't get allured by the glare of the material energy. Okay, the thing is that nothing in this world is more attractive as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is like one of the defenses given to us by Srimad Bhagavatam in our protection, that give the real credit to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because see, nothing is a problem for him. He is the original reason for a creation, for maintenance, and for annihilation. The original, everyone else are the secondary reasons. And how do we know that? Because the living entity who has the intelligence to create, the living entity is coming from Krishna, part and parcel of Krishna. The intelligence to create is coming from Krishna. The ingredients are coming from Krishna. And he's giving references from Bhagavad Gita, Mam Eva Ansha, Jiva Loke. So the Jiva, who is situated in this lok or in this place, is Mam Eva Ansha. Only it's my part and parcel only. Which Jiva is that? What is the quality of Jiva? Jiva Bhuta. That Jiva is Bhuta, means eternal. And Sanatana, always. Sanatana means always. It's not that it's my part and parcel today, but it was never my part and parcel yesterday. It will not be my part and parcel tomorrow. No. This Jiva Bhuta, or this eternal living entity who is situated in this loka, is my part and parcel, Sanatana, always. Okay, they're always my part and parcel. So basically, Krishna is giving this sense of security to the soul. Time and again, I meet so many people. I don't know, maybe I'm also one of them, that we look for security in our life. Whatever we are doing, subconscious mind we are looking for some sort of security, right? If we are working, there's job security. If there is good relationship security. If there is a house to live in, there is shelter security. If there is enough food in the house, there's food security. Like if there are enough clothes to wear, clothes security. If we have some societal standing, then okay, I have some people to back up on, and they will help me whenever I need help. So we are subconsciously looking for security everywhere we are going, everywhere. Prabhupada even says this in Loving Relationships. He said, this is a misconception to think, okay, I might have different view, but I'm telling you what Prabhupada said, that this is a misconception to think that two people can love each other without Krishna. And then he goes on to explain why. Because two people who are loving each other and there is no Krishna, they're actually meeting their own needs. That's what Prabhupada said. They're actually meeting their own needs. So if there is no Krishna in the center, then there is no love for each other. It's meeting their own needs. It looks like, I said, the closest love in this world which resemble the love of God for soul is mother's love for the child. That's the only thing. But coming back to the thing that the security, the sense of security, but we are not gonna find it. Okay, even if we find it, it will keep changing because that's the nature. That's how the time factor will play it out. That's how it's designed. Why? Because the remembrance is matta smriti jnanopohanam, remembrance. The remembrance or the attempt of the time factor, because time factor is also a servant of Krishna, is to remind the soul that this is not your place. You're not supposed to be comfortable here. I'm not supposed to be comfortable here. This is not my place. That is why it keeps changing. We keep changing until we become Krishna conscious fully. Okay, so that sense of security comes from this verse, that eternally, always, I am a part and parcel of Krishna, and this fact cannot change anytime. Nothing, this is never going to change. Okay, so, and then Prabhupada is saying that we get attracted and allured by the scientific advancement, and he's giving two examples, right? He's giving an example of an airplane and an automobile. That, oh, this is so fascinating that the airplane is floating at 40,000 feet. I recently came from India, right? I can say that 40,000 feet and you are inside the airplane. If you think about it and you look at the screen, the camera outside the plane, it feels like, my God, there's nothing but clouds around. Where am I? My God, it's like that. So it's like, wow, I'm up there so high, 40,000 feet. But the thing is that Prabhupada is again giving the caveat is that don't get so allured because the intelligence is coming from Krishna. We can give respect to the person, but we cannot worship that person. Okay, we cannot get allured by that person, because if we have to get attracted, then go to the root cause. Krishna is so merciful that he gave everything, intelligence, ingredients, time, everything to this living entity to do such magnificent job. And that way we become more and more grateful to Krishna and less attracted to material energy. If we don't do that, I'll play this other scenario out. If we don't do that, okay, if we don't bring Krishna factor and we get allured by this big airplane, and then what happens? Then we certainly get very allured, but then when this airplane is demolished or it's retired, then it becomes a problem. Then what do we do now? It was supposed to serve, but now it's retired. So what do we do? Where do we dump all these things now? What happened to this intelligence and everything that was there? So if we do the same thing, but we do it with the Krishna conscious spirit, then we understand that it was never ours to begin with. The ingredients were never ours to begin with. Okay, Krishna knows how to settle the things. Prabhupada said West has so many ingredients to make so many nice automobiles. Yes, it is true. It is true that so many nice cars, energy efficient cars are being made. But the other part is also true that once they're demolished, we don't know what to do with them. It becomes like a metallic clutter. So becoming Krishna conscious is so vital so that we don't get attached and then we don't get detached and then we don't cultivate the feelings of lamentation, hankering, or grief unnecessarily, wasting our time. It's a defense verse. Is that how I'm seeing it? And also it's a glorification of the Lord in terms of his being a creator, maintainer, and annihilator. And it gives a sense of security because Krishna says that his relation with each one of us will never be lost. Eva ancha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So it's this creation, maintenance, annihilation. This fact remains true that I am always Krishna's part and parcel. Okay, so if I can become more and more attached to that personality, which is my root cause of coming into existence, then that will be the right kind of an attachment. That will be the right kind of journey. Otherwise, the material world will only lead to frustration. Prabhupada said what the business of the mind is hankering and lamentation. We're always hankering for something and we are lamenting for once what we had and now we don't have it anymore. Hankering, lamentation. And then he says other function of the mind is bhoga tyaga, accepting and rejecting, accepting and rejecting. So only a very wise person will become exhausted of these oscillatory patterns or push and pulls of the material energy and would like to look for something which is more meaningful and more permanent. And which is the reality of one's existence. Okay, so understand that this particular verse is glorifying Krishna of being the original creator, maintainer, and annihilator, but it is also giving us the layer of protection to save ourselves from getting attracted to something minus Krishna. Okay, because the material world is very strong. It can allure us into getting attracted to something, and then we can compromise our Krishna consciousness to go on with this attraction on this other side. It may happen. It happens all the time. I think I'll stop here. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections? It's a very nice verse.